Well, good morning, everybody. Jeff Slakey here on Daybreak. A position on the Shelton City Commission is up for election this year, and it's the Shelton City Commissioner of Streets and Public Improvement. There are 4 candidates that are running for election or re-election. Ballots have been mailed out, and the primary is August 1st. The top 2 vote getters will move on to the general election. I'd sent out invitations to all the candidates to spend some time with me on Daybreak, and I'm happy to have on the air with me this morning one of those candidates, Kevin Dorcy. Good morning, Kevin.
Good morning, Jeff. How you doing?
I'm good. Thanks for coming on the air with me. First off,
Tell
me and tell the listeners a little bit about yourself.
Well, okay. I've been here all of my life. My mom and dad moved to Mason County out on the canal, 1951. My dad's first teaching job was at Belfair. And I was born in 53. I was actually born in Bellingham because that's where my mom's family doctor was that had the first 2 siblings. So I came back sometime shortly after that. Moved to town, 1955, and we lived on the very lot that Araco Coffee sits on today.
Oh, wow.
It's kind of strange, I know, but that's a fact. Went to grade school at Evergreen Grade School, which is now Choice High School. And I remember very well Lincoln School right over here where the Civic Center is today. Of course, it was condemned shortly after I moved in there and torn down. But anyway, so after 4 years or 4th grade at the Evergreen, Mom and Dad decided to move up to Mountain View. So halfway through the school year. So Dad and I walked down to Evergreen every day in the second half of the school year and finished that up with the teacher I had started with. Went to Mountain View grade school, 5th and 6th grade, then to junior high, down by Loop Field, which is an apartment house today, and then high school, which is where the new Evergreen School is now, and then, of course, where the library is at Irene S. Reed. It was tore down. Went to college, came back, married my high school sweetheart, and it'll be 45 years, September 9.
Oh, wow.
So I have lived in this town my whole life.
Well, talk to me then about why now was the time that you felt it was important to run for this position, and what are you looking to accomplish as a commissioner?
Well, I'm interested in running because actually people have come to me and asked me if I'd be interested. I think with my background in, I've been a contractor most of my life, right? A small business contractor, made tough decisions, got through the lean years, got up in years in my age and decided that maybe I need to do something a little easier on my body because I wanted to be able to walk when I had grandkids. And so I took a job out at WCC, the Correction Center. And I'm a project maintenance supervisor out there. And, you know, we have all kinds of projects we do. That's kind of like a small city in its own, you know. A lot of repair work, a lot of new stuff going on. And granted, I don't do all of it by any means. There's several of us out there. But I do see budgeting. I do see, I have to purchase material, stay on budget, stay on time. So I think with that experience, and then with Araco Coffee, getting through the lean years there, and it is tough. In this town, it is tough. It's a small town. You need to put out a good product and get customers. And I think we've done that. And along the way, you make tough decisions on things like, there's always something you might want to buy, but there's sometimes that need pile goes up a little faster than the want pile.
Yeah. And
you got to keep the place running. So.
And then any accomplishments that you'd like to see if you become a commissioner? What would you like to get done?
Well, goodness, two things right off the top of my head. The budget's got to, not the budget, but the debt has to come down.
Right.
We are in debt up to our eyeballs. And, but at the same time, our streets are in shambles, and among other things. But those are two things that I would really like to work on.
Well, you bring up streets. You'd be the Commissioner of Streets and Public Improvement. So give me a letter grade for the streets in Shelton. And then are there specific areas that need attention more than others? And how would you go about prioritizing where the work is done?
Yeah, a grade level between A and F.
Yeah.
I would say what comes after F.
Oh, okay.
All right. Now, that's not to say that the whole town is that way, but many of our streets are in shambles. Let me see if I can figure out. Okay, here. If let's say you're going to work and you swing by Rocco Coffee and you get your favorite coffee drink, and the blue sky and the puffy clouds, it's a beautiful day. I-Fiber 1 is playing Good Day Sunshine by the Beatles. All right? You work your way back out onto Railroad Avenue and maybe take a left on 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, wham, it hits you. Your coffee's in your lap. All right? There's a set of moguls over there that an Olympic committee would be proud of, a Winter Olympic Committee. And it's been that way for years and years and years. Now, with that said, I just learned recently that they are going to do some work on Alder. That's been torn up for, 8, 9 years. I don't know what it's been. Long time. They shaved it off, but they never blacktopped it. And I also heard they're going to do something on Turner. So, finally, I think we're going to get some new
Stuff
pavement.
starting to happen.
Yeah.
One of the streets that has gotten a lot of attention is Railroad, and specifically between 1st and 7th or so. Has all the work done down on Railroad, you think, been worth it? And were you involved in the visioning project during all that?
Yeah. Well, first of all, I was not involved in the visioning of it at all, but I do know some people that were. And I think it accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. It's beautiful. It's more beautiful. It brings people downtown. It slowed down the traffic, and the non-skid sidewalk crosswalks are more comfortable for pedestrians. I don't know if a lot of people know that this project was actually started by a group of people from the chamber, and is spearheaded by the chamber. And there's several businesses got together and some civilians and raised about $54,000. And to do the initial work where they had the back-in parking, they found out that wasn't what they wanted to do. They had the one-way over by the bus, and they changed that back now. So they found out what worked and what didn't work. I think I heard that the city actually only has less than $30,000 into this improvement. So most of us spend that much or more on a car, so that's really not a lot of money.
Mm-hmm. Mason County Garbage just took over garbage service in Shelton the beginning of July, and so they're privatizing that effort there. Do you think privatizing types of services like that is a good thing for the city moving forward, and are there other areas that you could look to privatize for other services?
Well, from what I understand, I think that privatizing the garbage was a good thing to do, especially at this time. The Shelton City Garbage could no longer sustain the service without raising the rates considerably. And the rates would have went up faster and higher than selling it to the garbage company. So, and also the Mason County Garbage pays Shelton like $500,000 a year back. Plus, they bought the equipment. So I think it was a no-brainer right at this time. I don't think that we need to sell off any more services right now. I know that was a taxpayer service.
Yeah.
And maybe we can find a way to, I don't know what they're going to use the $500,000 that they get back every year, but hopefully it'll go toward another city, ratepayer service.
Yeah.
That they own.
Talk about just some ways that you think the city can quickly spur economic growth. We've seen a variety of ways over the last couple of years, reductions of fees, suspensions of fees, increasing of fees. Where do you think we're at in ways to quickly spur economic growth?
I believe that the reducing of the fees was a good thing. It accomplished what they wanted to accomplish. It gave a kickstart to some growth. I think they're up to like 23 permits now on new homes. This isn't counting decks and roofs and windows and things like that. These are new home permits. And I think it was a good thing. Now, with that said, the department has to be sustainable. We're going to come back to that every time. We can't keep cutting money out of a department and expect it to keep operating. I think we need to, the rates in 2015 were way up here, and then we cut them off and we're way down here. We need to be somewhere in here to keep the department sustainable. They're going to need more help in there, especially if we keep cheap permits, because people are going to come in and we're going to need people to do plan reviews. We're probably going to need another inspector. I heard they just hired one, but they're going to need another one if we keep giving people these permits. Now, with that said, I think to spur more growth, we could maybe offer some cheap permits to people that want to, like, purchase a burned out house or a condemned building or something like that, and let them have free hookups or whatever, and get them to help beautify the city, because there are a lot of them around here. Mm-hmm. And property values would go up, things like that.
Finally, Kevin, tell me what makes you the best candidate for this position.
Oh, wow. I think I'm qualified for this job because of my experience alone in small business. I've worked with people with do contracting. I've seen blueprints. I've worked with permitting. I just think that I'm the best guy qualified for this job to help make decisions. I like the way the city has been going. I think that Ryan Wheaton is an intelligent man. I think his eyes are on the future of the city and the crew around him, the people he's hired. Craig Gregory does a wonderful job. NOLA. I hate to name names because I'm going to forget them all, but I think they're doing a great job. Now, it's up to us to set a vision, and it's up to them to go, figure out how we can get to that vision, and then we got to put it to the people. Let the people have a say in all this. And I don't know how to get all that out to them yet, but I think the people we need to be more involved with the citizens.
Kevin Dorcy is running for the Shelton City Commissioner of Streets and Public Improvement position. Thank you for coming in.
Yeah, thank you.